Welcome to Fabulous Feasts. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio. Fabulous Feasts is all about empowerment. It's about empowering you to make better food choices. You can choose foods that will suppress inflammation and disease, or you can choose foods that will drive inflammation and disease. That's what an anti-inflammatory diet's all about. We know that certain foods will reduce inflammation and pain. It'll help you regain your health if you've lost it and maintain your health if you still have it. That's what Fabulous Feast is all about. Reducing that genetic expression for disease by eating anti-inflammatory foods. It's as simple as what Hippocrates used to say. Let medicine be thy food and let food be thy medicine. That's Fabulous Feast. Today's show, we're going to do a Tamari turkey, and then we're also going to pair that with a arugula salad with a lemon melon dressing. And we're going to finish it off today with a sweet treat. That's right, I'm going to talk about a dessert today. Not all desserts are bad, just bad desserts are bad. So you do want to embrace bitter foods in general with a anti-inflammatory diet. Why? Because bitter foods are generally high in phenols, high in antioxidants, high in the minerals, vitamins, and things that stimulate your immune system, and all the little micronutrients that you need for health. The sweeter foods, yes, fruits, very good for you, high in vitamins and minerals, okay? But other sweet foods, cakes, candies, sweets, not so good for you, right? That's your junk food. No nutrients and no nutritional value. From a functional medicine perspective, catch this. We've been talking about it for 40 years. Cancer cells live off of glucose. They live off of sugar. They live off of white sugar. Put that in your hat and think about it. So if you're fighting that battle, you might want to think about staying away from all white sugar and limiting sources of simple sugar, like honey, like maple syrup. Good sugars, but simple sugars. So with that said, a little nutrition tip, let's talk about food. We're going to start with some turkey loin. Can you use poultry? Any poultry? Yes, you can use any poultry. Does it have to be breast meat? No, it doesn't. It can be turkey legs, it can be turkey thighs, it can be chicken thighs, it can be whatever you want. The different fat profile just tells you you're getting different fats. But in general, poultry's okay. Don't worry about poultry on an anti-inflammatory diet. Most of our poultry today is processed and they're wet. So first thing you want to do is pat them dry. Let's get rid of the excess water, all right? So pat your poultry dry, and you'll see as we cook it, it's going to throw off water as well, all right? So, but get rid of as much of the excess water as you can, because it's just going to, splatter when you cook. It makes a mess, and you got to boil it off anyway, all right? If you were making a little bit of a sauce, and you wanted like a thick sauce, by patting it dry, when you add your roux or your flour, then it'll thicken much quicker. That's the other reason you do it. But we're not going to powder. We could flour the turkey if we wanted, and I'm going to take that little bit of skin off like that. All right. So that just gets over there. All right. I'm going to put this there. We want cubes, and you want them to be all about the same size. Like this size here is just about perfect. So I'm going to cut the loin, the breast in half, and I want them all pretty much about the same size. Why? So they cook quickly, all right, and they cook evenly. So about like that. 2-inch cube type of thing looks pretty good. And as I get to the thinner, just cut that one there. This is a little, I'm going to take that membrane out, which you don't really have to, but fascia. That's called fascia. You see that? That membrane in there between the different layers of the breast, that's called fascia. Fascia is that thin, silvery, white lining in muscles. But you know something? It doesn't just surround muscles. It surrounds nerves. It surrounds organs. Fascia creates a surface so that tissues can glide on one another. See all the little lines in there, right? But you know what's really cool? Fascia, or muscles in the human body, 30% of your muscles attach to fascia, of your muscle fibers attach to fascia. So if there's tightness in the fascia, if there's restriction in the fascia, if your fascia doesn't glide in your muscles, around your nerves, between your organs, you're going to have pulling, tension, and it's going to create problems. It's going to create musculoskeletal issues, all right? Aches and pains. How do you release that fascia? Well, lots of ways you can get that fascia to glide. Deep heat will do that. Deep massage could help that. Stretching, maybe, okay, depending on the technique and how it's done. Tech-R, Windback Tech-R, great technique. It's a technology, it's a piece of equipment we use. The Windback unit gets fascia to glide. Hyaluronic acid, people or women may know of hyaluronic acid because of it puffs up your skin, gets rid of wrinkles, right? They do it in cosmetics as a topical. They also do it as an injectable, right? Hyaluronic acid, when fascia sticks together, gets tight, gets bunched up, and things stick together. You get wrinkles. Hyaluronic acid, when it's relaxed, when it's long-stranded, things slide. Water gets in there, the tissues get puffed up. The extracellular matrix, the fluid that lives around your cells, is healthier. Tech-R, Windback Tech-R, takes short-stranded hyaluronic acid, makes it long-stranded. For me, that's why it's such a game changer. I'm a chiropractic doctor, but we don't just do manipulation. That's just one little thing. That doesn't define chiropractic, and it definitely doesn't define me. I am really focused on stimulating the muscles, the ligaments, the tendons, the joints, everything to move better. Because if you can't move well, you're going to deteriorate. And over time, you get to be my age and older, gravity is not your friend. You will decompress, you will default, you will collapse due to gravity, due to genetic weaknesses that you didn't manage properly with diet, rest, exercise, and eating right, and taking adjustments. And simple things like letting your hyaluronic acid get densified and get stuck, and then all of a sudden you can't move. And then your joints wear and tear. And you get more arthritis because your joints get stuck together. So, yeah, Windback Tech-R, game changer for us. And that's one of the main reasons that we use it. We use it for pain, yes. Do we use it for stiffness? Yes. We use it for all sorts of things. We even use it for aesthetics. Remember what I said? Getting rid of wrinkles, getting rid of cellulite, tightening up your body. We call it trim and tone. Great stuff. Great stuff. So here we have the turkey cut up in cubes. It's going to need a little salt and pepper. So I'm going to open up, spread it out a little bit. That piece is ready for us. That's scrap, so that can go there. Let's get a little salt on this. But yeah, you taking care of your musculoskeletal health, your fascial health is really, really important. Remember I mentioned that term, the extracellular matrix, the fluid that surrounds the cells. We know then you have diseased tissue, that your extracellular matrix is densified, is thickened, it's tight. What we don't know is what happens first. Do you get diseased tissue and then densification, thickening of your hyaluronic acid? Or do you get thickening of the hyaluronic acid first and then get densification? We don't know. But we do know they both go together. That's why taking care of your fascial health is so important. And that's one of the reasons we do so much soft tissue work in the office. Not just with the Winback Tech-R unit, but with all of our modalities as well as my hands. But one of the reasons I like using modalities is it saves my hands. I don't have to work so hard. So, again, sidebar. Let's warm up the pan because we got to cook our turkey. Let's get a little heat in the pan first. In the meantime, that can go there. And this can go there. I'm going to drop this off and rinse my hands while the pan's warming up. So the Tamari we're going to use is not Tamari. You have a couple of options for your flavoring with this dish today. Traditional soy sauce. Soy sauce is made has wheat in it, all right? So people who are celiac disease are definitely sensitive to wheat, a real sensitivity. Can't do soy sauce, so they can go to Tamari. Real old school Tamari is not made with wheat, gluten-free, soy-based, okay? Then the difference between the two is Tamari is a little bit bolder flavor, but they're both relatively high in salt, about 1,000 milligrams plus or minus per serving. Then you can get something called aminos, Bragg's aminos. I think they're the only ones that make them. They're also a soy product, but they're a lot less salt. There's only about 300 milligrams of sodium. It's got that same flavor. It's got a really good flavor, okay? So no wheat again. Wheat-free, all right, aminos. I just found another type of aminos called coconut aminos. Now, coconut aminos are actually a little bit sweeter. They still give you that umami, soy flavor, a little bit sweeter. The sodium level is like 110 milligrams or 130 milligrams per serving. So sodium-wise, super, super low, but it is a bit sweeter. Almost kind of tends towards a Worcestershire sauce on the sweetness side, but in that direction. Pan's nice and warm. Why some oil? Because turkey's got no fat. We want to get a little sear on the turkey, so you got to put just 1 or 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan. Get the turkey in there, move it around so it can get a nice sear on it. And you want a nice hot flame. This is not going to take too long to cook. We're only going to flip it once, maybe twice. Again, you can use any poultry with this. Good to go. I'm going to put this away because it's got the meat on it. My hands are still clean. Hey, how do you guys like my new cutting board my wife got for me? Guess what? It's from Wood for Chef. So thanks, Wood for Chef. I purchased it, but it's a great butchered block board. Love it. Look forward to using it on all my shows. So that's cooking. How are we going to season it? Well, we are going to add some mushrooms in there. You can use white mushrooms. You can use portobellos. You can use shiitake. That's pretty much up to you. I would not cut them super thin. I would cut them, oh gosh, 1/8 of an inch, but not paper thin, because you want them to have a little bit of a body, because the turkey are in relative cubes. So you want to, whenever you're cooking and you're using different vegetables that you're gonna eat together, you have to think about the texture, but also the size. So since the mushrooms can be, commensurate size and to complement the cubes of meat. So I could use, I could quarter them like that if I wanted to. But I'm going to go with slightly thicker slices because that's what we like. I'm using both white and baby Bella mushrooms just to mix it up. See what's fresh. See what you can get. that's high quality. Now, we're talking about eating foods that are nutrient dense. Mushrooms are one of them. And if you happen to be using things like shiitake or maitake mushroom, medicinal mushrooms, right? They don't lose their medicinal value if you cook them. So it's okay to have them and it's okay to cook them. You know, I take maitake mushroom on a regular basis as a supplement just to boost my immune system. So, and I cook with shiitake all the time. Shallot. We need some shallots. Not a, again, not a fine cut. You probably didn't even, I have to cut it in half. Oh, maybe 2 medium-sized, 3 small shallots. How's that turkey doing? It's coming along. See, if you look at it, you can see it's just about ready for a flip. Not quite. Give it a little shake. But you don't want to keep flipping it because I want to get that sear on the bottom, all right? I want to get the sear. So some shallots. So it's really pretty simple. We're going to have turkey. We're going to add the shallots, add our coconut aminos, only 2 tablespoons, all right? And mushrooms, that's it. We're going to pair that with an arugula salad. And you know me, salad's got to have 3 colors, so we're going to talk about that. Let's see how these babies look. Ooh, nice. Look at that. Beautiful. Going to flip them. And then by the time this is done, the salad will be done. And then we'll talk about dessert. That's right. We're having dessert. So stay tuned. See? Look at that. You can tell it's almost cooked all the way. Nice and brown on the other side. So it's only going to take a couple of minutes. For my patients, you can do this when you come home from work at night. It is not that big of a deal to chop up some turkey or chicken, chop up some shallots, throw some seasoning on it. In this case, it's going to be coconut aminos with some mushrooms. Real straightforward. That's got to cook a little bit more. The salad, arugula, is going to be our base. Need a little color. What did I have in the house? I had a rainbow carrot. So we're going to add some rainbow carrot to it. I'm going to cut it relatively thin. I could also use the I could also shred it, you know, I could have it shredded, but I just want to get a little crunch in there, okay? Gives me a little crunch, so nice and thin. Could I mandolin it? Sure, but this will be fine. So that gives me a little extra color. And you can put in as much as you want. But what did I say before? 5 to 7 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. That's what you need. So eat the veggies, eat the veggies, eat the fruits. That's what's important. This looks great. So now if you don't have a little bit of ADD like me, and you want to do one thing at a time, you can do one thing at a time, right? You don't have to cook all at once. But that's just me. So I'm going to put my shallots in. You don't want to do much more than just give the shallots a quick kind of stir. You want them to release their oils because when you put the mushrooms in, it'll help bring the flavor out a lot quicker. But you don't want to caramelize them, all right? You just want to soften them. So while that's going, not quite ready for those. How are we going to dress this? Well, we're going to use a lemon, EVO, seasoning with salt and pepper. When you're making a salad, oil first, to coat it so that when you add the acid, it doesn't get wilted, all right? So oil first, and then we're gonna add the lemon, the salt, and the pepper. The shallots are wilted. There we go. This goes there, that goes there, and I'm done with that. Now, relatively high flame, let it cook. If you want the mushrooms to bring out their fluid, draw off their fluid faster, I could salt it now, but I want the mushrooms to absorb the flavor first of the shallots and the turkey, which doesn't have a lot of flavor, so you could add a little extra seasoning if you want. All right? Looks pretty good. You could probably eat it just like that. 2 tablespoons of the coconut aminos. That's all. 2 tablespoons. Stir it around and just let it cook down. This will take about 5 to 10 minutes. The turkey's cooked. If you like your vegetables on the crunchy side, give it 3 to 5 minutes. If you like your mushrooms soft and tender, give it 8 to 10. So there is no exact timing. I'm going to turn the heat down just a little because this burner's running hot. So, oil. Get your arugula covered, because then when we add our lemon, it won't get as wilted. It'll stay its crispness. A little salt. Little pepper. Fresh ground pepper is going to have more bite than pre-ground pepper, because pepper's got those phenols in it. You hear me talk about them. It's got a bite to it. It's going to have a higher nutritional value. All right? Nothing wrong with black pepper that's been sitting out. Maybe 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, but give it 3. I like the lemon. You want the nutritional value of your food, so use fresh ground black pepper as often as you can. Now, here's the kicker. We know melon, they don't have to be balls. They can be little cubes, little pieces, and then prosciutto melon, can't go wrong. This is prosciutto di Parma, but it can be a domestic prosciutto, but this is just the best. So take this and just chop it up. How much? 1 or 2 pieces, that's it. But it's not about the prosciutto. And the reason I like chopping it up too is that it makes it easier to eat, all right? Makes it easier to eat. So, if you want a crunch, you could add some nuts to it if you wanted. Ah, look at that. Look at the tamari. See what happened? The salt in the tamari starts to draw out, or in the aminos, starts to draw out all of the fluid in the mushrooms, and there you go. There you go. That's done. That's it. We're shutting that baby off. Just let it sit there for a second. Salad's good to go. We're going to put the salad over here, and guess what? It's time for dessert. Let's make it easy peasy. Let's get out some of my homemade yogurt. Easy. You can buy yogurt if you want. Put some homemade yogurt in the bottom of a glass. Boom. What kind of milk do I use? Grass-fed milk. All right? Grass-fed things are high in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory. That's what you want. On top of that, frozen, now thawed out, black cherries, high in antioxidants, just right on top. High in antioxidants, right on top. Man, when I was a kid, for Christmas, one of the treats was Cherries Jubilee. My dad would make it and put it over ice cream. And you can put this over ice cream, nothing wrong with that. But you want to be decadent? Bam! Bam! Get some dark, dark chocolate, okay? This is 73% chocolate, okay? And how do I know it's really dark chocolate? It didn't break very well, okay? Milk chocolate breaks real easily because of the high fat content. So some chocolate shavings on top, as dark as you can tolerate. And a piece of fresh mint. Boom. Boom. There's dessert. But what about dinner? Are we eating backwards tonight? Well, we might. We might be. No, we aren't. Tamari turkey. Plate that up. A few pieces got away. Oh! 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 Where's my sous chef? Okay, plate that up. There we go. I am the sous chef. So, that's what happens when you try to get fancy, all right? Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. Don't try to get fancy. Tamari chicken, but what does it need? It needs something to spruce it up a little bit. So we're going to take a little bit of, here we go, fresh chives, right from the garden. Gives it a little bit of brightness. Right over the top. So, we talked about a lot of stuff. I hope you got some good information. We have an arugula salad with some rainbow carrots, prosciutto, lemon dressing, salt, pepper. Here, turkey tamari with mushrooms. Winter dinner. And sweet treat, black cherries, homemade yogurt, chocolate shavings, fresh mint, anti-inflammatory foods. Let medicine be thy food and food be thy medicine. I'm Dr. Donald DeFabio. We'll see you on the next show. You guys can have that. I'm just gonna have dessert tonight. See, not too sweet. See, it's not that sweet at all, you know? But it's satisfying my desire, you know, for a dessert. I get the chocolate, I get the richness of the chocolate, and the cherries are just perfect. Doesn't need more than this. Really doesn't. I could even put some prosciutto in here if I wanted.